All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, good morning.
Okay, Carl, can we have the first slide? Carl with us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carl's with us. He doesn't. You're muted, Carl. Can
That's
you hear
because
us?
I don't, for some reason, my PowerPoint window's not coming up. Let me try again. In other words, I can't share it because it's not open. Let's see. Let's try this one. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, guys, good morning and welcome to our meeting today. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's have our moment of silent reflection and prayer for the continued vigilance through the pandemic and the fact that the vaccines are available to us, and hopefully we're getting it. I'm still on the list to get it. My wife finally got off of some of them things and had, if you had a shingle shot within the last 2 weeks or any other vaccination, they recommend waiting out the period. So, and let's hope that with the inauguration yesterday and our new president, that our nation does come together, and for whatever reason, to put it mildly, all the crap that's been going on since last March with all kinds of protests, counter protests, unrest, civil unrest throughout the country, finally gets put to rest and people come to their senses and start acting like true Americans. Let's pray that, hope that this all comes and we can have a good 2021. Thank you. Point of information, Ed Roloff had volunteered to update the professional list, services that are available, recommended by our members. And that, I believe, Ed, that's on the members only page. But that has updated information. And that's again, that's a document, a living document. So if anybody does have information from a particular vendor that or a service provider, whether it's an accountant, a tree service, mechanics, whatever that services that are available to us, medical, please get the information to Ed, and he'll update that list. I mean, I refer to it myself quite a bit. In fact, I had tree work done, and one of the companies that was recommended on the list was the one that I ended up eventually going with, and I'm very pleased with it. So we're not doing a rating system, but as long as the name is on there, use it. So it's very useful. And I would suggest visiting that list if you haven't. And maybe Ed Roloff, are you on?
I'm here, Joe.
Okay. The access is through the members only page. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I don't know if that's something that we should members only or leave it open, but whatever the case is, visit it, and everybody should have the password and information to get on it. If not, contact Steve and we'll get that. As I said before, the vaccines are available now, and a number of our members have already gotten the vaccine for the first dose. And the second dose, I guess, is a couple of weeks away after your first dose. One thing, we were at Carol's surgeon yesterday, and what he recommends is get the first shot in your dominant arm. And the reason is that the second dose tends to be a little more uncomfortable. And so he said, get the first dose in your dominant arm and the second dose in your the other arm, obviously. You only have two, but don't get them both in the same arm. That's the other recommendation. So that's just a point of information. He's had the vaccine and his nurse had it, and they both had more of a reaction on the second dose. Then I got an email yesterday that the Stamford Town Center is not, the Stamford Government Center, vaccines are not going to be provided at the government center, so you'd have to go to the other locations.
Joe, this is Steve.
Yes, Steve.
If anyone got a shot, one of the early shots administered at the government center last week, you should receive an email telling you to call Stamford Health and arrange for your second shot. They gave you a number to call.
Yes, yes.
It can take a while to get through, but I got through yesterday and have my second shot scheduled already. But that's for those that got their shot at the government center last week.
They give you a number for Stamford Hospital to call for the
Yeah.
second slot.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone for almost an hour, about 47 minutes. But I did get through, and I'm scheduled.
Yeah, but it's different than where if you go to their site, they'll send you to the VAMS.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Okay.
fine.
And then both locations are using the VAMS to schedule appointments. And okay, we're good on that. While we're talking about vaccines, Les, do you have anything to add?
No, a number of people have had problems, of course, with the VAMS website. There's a number of glitches in it. I know CHC is aware of the problems and they're trying to get them corrected. And I know lots of people have gotten through without any problem, but I mean, for example, I had a problem with, I know other people have too. But reminds me of the rollout of Obamacare 10 years ago or whatever it was. And they're using the platform all over the country. So right now, the big concern is the demand for the vaccine is rapidly overtaking the available supply. Hopefully, supply will pick up again soon.
Hi, Bill Munko here. I got a
Yeah,
comment.
Bill, let me call. Your hand is raised. There's a couple of people before you. Larry
Okay.
Holtzman, you got your hand raised? Larry, you're muted.
Using the VAMS website, and when it came to the point for locations, I tried both Tully and the Fifth Street. There was nothing available till March. There were numerous availability appointments on the Stamford Hospital website, mostly at night for the first one. I had mine last night at 7:30, and it's very efficient at Stamford Hospital. My wife is going tonight. There's lots and lots of appointments, particularly in the evening. So I recommend Stamford Hospital is the place to go, and it's very well organized.
Thank you, Larry. Bill Munko.
Yes, I was one of those people that had trouble trying to get a spot or trying to get in. I'd like to thank Les and Dave first for their help. And I kept running into these dead ends. I don't know what happened, but a couple of weeks ago when I saw the SMAS message, I went in on there, on that link, and it said, that I was in there and I would get an invitation. Well, believe it or not, Monday, after 2 weeks, I got an invitation, and I finally did get into the right loop. And I do have, my wife and I do have an appointment for February.
Right.
But boy, I'll tell you, it was tough. Like I said to those two guys.
All right, Bill, we got more people on, so
Okay.
glad that it worked out. Ira Kaplan. Ira, unmute yourself.
I was unsuccessful with the VAM site for several days. And a friend of mine directed me to the Yale New Haven site. And I got an appointment in Greenwich at the New Brunswick School for January 31st. And you don't have to go through VAMS. You go directly through Yale New Haven. And it was fairly easy to go through the site.
Okay, guys, unless there's, you have a question or, some information, Alan Jaffe.
Well, I just want to say that my wife and I were successful on getting vaccinations at CHC on last Saturday through the VAMS system.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
And do you know why it's called a dose? Because there's two of them.
Okay.
Oh,
Jerry Ardigo.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do you have to go to the same site to get your second shot?
I don't think so. Just make sure you get the same vaccine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move on, guys. Next slide, please. All right, today's speaker is Svetlana Kunin, Socialism and Capitalism Through the Eyes of a Soviet Emigre. She was recommended by Art Bellman, and it should be an interesting discussion from firsthand experience. So stay tuned at 10:45 or maybe a little earlier for Svetlana's presentation. Stu,
Oh, good morning, everyone.
how you feeling, Stu?
I'm feeling terrific. No side effects, nothing.
Great. Thank God.
Just waiting out my quarantine period, which is another 5 days. So good morning, guys. Wheel It Forward is a nonprofit library for durable medical equipment, assistive technologies, and related products such as wheelchairs, crutches, adjustable showers, etc. People can come and donate this kind of equipment. They can borrow it. It's free of charge. Elliot Sloyer is the CEO of that operation, the nonprofit, and he'll tell us all about that. Art Gottlieb, next on February 4th, is a licensed clinical social worker, an instructor in Lifetime Learners in Norwalk. He's a local historian on subjects of political and military history, and he's going to tell us a lot about Charles Lindbergh, and certainly we've all heard about Charles Lindbergh. Next on February 11th, we will talk about life after COVID. Rabbi Torav of Temple Sinai will talk to us about his view of what's going to happen. He's a very insightful guy, and I think we'll find it very interesting to listen to him. And then on the 18th is Bobby Valentine. I think we all know Bobby Valentine. He'll talk about Stamford and baseball. Those are his major topics. We may hear some or none or a lot of what we heard last time, but he's always a lot of fun to listen to. Is Howie on? Howie? Howie's not on. Okay. So we want to use the Bobby Valentine slot as a recruiting mechanism. So please.
What I'm going to do, Stu.
Oh, go ahead, Howie.
Fisher, send out this slide to each person, and I'm going to ask them to please print a couple of them. Give them to a mailbox of a neighbor, a friend, get them out to them, put your name on it to welcome them and tell them this is the way, you know, it's a nice club. Guys, this is the way we're going to be able to do it. Because in today's world, this is what we're faced with. So let's get it out to everybody. Once Steve does it, I'll contact you, Steve. Thank you very much.
Good. Thanks, Howie. So those are the speaker lineups for the next month or so. I've got a number of openings for speakers in the May timeframe. Anybody has any ideas of speakers, or any of you who might want to talk to us about something of particular interest that you do or that you have done in your career, that would be terrific to talk to us about that. And lastly, I could use one or two guys to help arrange for speakers. If you guys are interested in helping out, please let me know. It'd be very much appreciated. Thanks, and we'll see you.
Thank you, Stu. Before we go to Ira, Steve, I think you have a poll set up.
All right, you want to do the poll?
Well, why don't we launch the poll, and then we'll talk the results before the end of the.
Since the poll was sent to me by Carl and your, I hope you guys have the answers, because I don't.
Okay. So there's a poll. We've got a bunch of questions about Stamford, how much we know about Stamford. So these are, you just put the 2 questions up today, right?
Right. Yep. I put 2 up today, and we have more for following weeks.
Okay. So we will discuss the results of that poll at the end of the meeting. So you can go to it, and if you want, we'll remind you a little later. You hit polls at the bottom, and it'll come up. And unfortunately, the host can't vote, right, Steve?
No, you may be able to. I don't know.
No, I couldn't. I just see the results. Yeah. Okay. Ira.
Good morning. One correction to last week's minutes that I can make is Howie Breslow is recruitment director. So that will be noted in future minutes. There were 58 in attendance last week. And if there are no other corrections or additions to the minutes, I'm going to turn it over to Joe for representing everybody for approval.
Okay, are we going to, in the future, show the poll results so that people that aren't at the meeting will see what we're doing?
Yeah, I thought they were, last week, the poll results were put in the discussion part, which in fact, they're the first item in the discussion part, which is part of the meeting.
Oh, okay, I didn't. All right. That's a good place for it.
We'll continue.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, Larry here. My video is not working. So you're not going to see my picture.
Now we do.
You do? Okay. I just clicked on something else. There's a new computer.
Just put the camera a little, we only catch your nose and above.
Or sit up more.
Not better?
Much better.
Okay. January 28th, discussion groups at 9:20. We had a really good one with Lori today. January 28th, Joe D on current events. Lots of events have been occurring, so should be an interesting discussion. On February 4th, Art Feldman will lead us on future of capitalism in the USA. February 11th, Joe D comes back to talk about investing. February 18th, Bob Budke on technology. And February 25th, Joe comes back on current events again. So that's the 9:20 discussion groups. Hopefully we'll have about 30 or some odd people to attend. And today was a very good one. So next slide, please. Yesterday we walked in Irwin Park. The participants numbered about 7. There's David, my wife, me, Jerry Krantz, his wife Joan, and Lou Terry. And of course, Carl took the picture. There's the map of Irwin Park, which was the former home of the founder of IBM. So it's great to get out and great to have in-person conversations, even through the masks with our fellow members. So I encourage you to partake and to get some exercise and fresh air. It's a really good activity and socialization. So more guys are welcome. Bring your spouses, friends, whatever. Okay, next slide, please. The annual picnic 2021 will occur on Thursday, September 23rd at Cove Island. Stu is the chairperson. Mayor Martin has agreed to speak and will presumably ride his new bike over to the Cove. Next slide, please. Before I turn it over to Carl, again, anybody has any ideas for activities besides golf, which we hope to put together sometime in March on a nice day, weather forecast, or certainly in April. Please feel free to email me with your thoughts and ideas for something we could all do. Okay. Carl, it's all yours.
Well, before Carl, Gary Gepner, you have a question? Unmute yourself, Gary.
I'm sorry, I don't have a question. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just ignore me.
Welcome to the club.
It's raised. I better lower it, huh?
Okay. I just lowered it for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're set. All right, Carl, go ahead, please.
Okay. Do we have any members? Oops, sorry. I followed the instructions and it didn't work out. All right. Okay. Okay. I'll catch up to it.
Carl, click on, go to the left and click up until you use the slide bar until you find the one you want.
Okay.
You want me to take control?
There we go. Let's see. Yeah, what I did was I followed the advice. I hit the space bar because I was supposed to unmute myself, but it made everything a little wacky. Okay, let's do it this way. There we go. Okay, do we have any guests or visitors participating this morning? Unmute yourself if you have it. Okay, there you can see we've had two members drop out this year, so the total membership right now is down to 231. We're hoping that the people who haven't paid their dues yet are just a little behind the curve and don't represent any threats to the membership numbers. And we don't want to lose any members just because of lack of communication. So what we've been doing is we've been, earlier this week, we sent out a list, and many of you helped out by contacting people who had listed you as their buddies when they filled out the membership forms. And so we had some personal contact there. Steve has also sent out a blast by email to all the people who hadn't paid their dues yet. There'll be a follow-up this Sunday for any remaining people. And following that first week in February, if there are still other people who haven't paid their dues, we'll be calling them individually, because there's a good possibility, as a lot of the people we haven't heard from are older, they may not be using their email, may not be receiving their email, and personal contact by telephone might be the way to reach them. People in those circumstances, we won't be charging them the fine. We just want to contact them, share our optimism for 2021 as far as resuming our normal activities later in the year, and encourage them to participate in the Zoom meetings when they can, but to stand by, maintain the membership for better times are coming.
David?
Well, good morning, everybody. I trust everyone is doing well. And Stu, glad that you're having an easy go of it with COVID. You're looking good. Let's move to the next slide. So I spoke to Hal Rosenbaum the other day. He would be happy to receive calls from any senior men's members. He says he really doesn't get out of the house much at all due to his health conditions, very high risk. And so he's pretty much housebound. Also spoke to Lewis K., who just finished a month-long stint in the hospital and then rehab for a very serious leg infection. And he, as Hal, is very much housebound. Would love to hear from anyone who would be willing to call him. John Sedlak thanks everybody that's been calling him. He couldn't make the meeting today because he's got a couple medical appointments. But let's keep the calls up with John. It really appreciated and does make a difference. And if you know anyone else in this situation, please do let me know. Next. As I mentioned last time, we've started an initiative to contact those who are in extended care or short-term care facilities and others with health issues. I appreciate the notice I've gotten, and please keep that up. So good news. I actually have some good news. Elisa very recently had her 5-year out appointment with her surgeon from her cancer surgery 5 years ago, and was given the all clear, no sign of cancer. Surgeon said, we're done. So Elisa said, well, when do I see you again? And the surgeon said, well, happy to see you socially, but as far as I'm concerned, you're on your own. So we're thrilled about that news. Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Dick Harper. Dick, unmute yourself.
There we go. Sorry. I had unmuted myself earlier. Came back. But anyhow, the Splendid in the Vile is about Churchill, and we had postponed from Inauguration Day till next Wednesday. So we'll do that at 1:30. And then the Hampton Sides book is on the docket for March 3rd is the date we have for that. And we're open to adding to our list. We have a pretty good list of books already. And I'm going to send that out again to all those who are on the book group list. And if you want to add more, let's do it. And then we can decide maybe on the 27th which books we'll read next. So that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dick. Okay, items for discussion. Bill Munko. Bill, unmute yourself. You have your hand raised.
Oh, thought I had it. Okay. Dave, I'd just like to mention to you that my uncle Jack Jablonski, who had the virus, and my aunt also, they both had it, went through their 2-week thing, and he's doing well. They're both doing well. He didn't really have any big issues, which amazes me because he just turned 90. He wouldn't mind a few calls, I would think, because he's kind of doesn't get around too much.
Okay, great. If you'll give me the contact information, we'll make sure we get that up.
Sure, I'll send it out to you after the meeting.
Thanks, Bill.
All right. The little quiz. You want to pull that up? Okay. The first question, what is the current population of Stamford? Looks like most people are saying 130,000. And Stamford population is
130,000.
150,000.
130.
Well, it is 130.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Stamford percent of the total population, running pretty close. Most people say 9%. Carl, what is it?
It's just under 4%.
Under 4%. Oh, that's surprising. So, all right, stay tuned for next week's questions. If anybody has any subjects or any questions that they would like, either the questions are yes or no, true, false, or multiple choice, send them to me and I'll pass them on to Steve to set up. So looking forward, I think it's interesting. So thank you for participating. And we'll go to the next, any jokes, I guess.
Joe.
Alan Jaffe. Boopy, you got to raise your, the hand on the screen.
Okay. Well, just wanted to share with you guys something interesting talking about numbers game. Today, 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Think about that. 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Enjoy it.
Okay, thank you, Boopy. Alan, you're up.
Also, more importantly, today's my birthday, but
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That wasn't a joke, though. Uh,
Not on us, but on your parents it was.
Was it your 21st?
Well, a man walks into a bar, then he goes to the bathroom. He comes out, goes to the bartender, and he says, "You've got a great place here, but my buddy was here last night, and he said you have golden urinals. Where are they?" The bartender turns to the band and yells, "Frank, I've got a lead on the guy who ruined your sax last night."
Okay. Any other, anybody else have a joke or story to tell? Okay. Has our speaker joined us yet?
I don't see her on yet.
Okay, so we'll open up for a few minutes of any discussions. So if anybody has anything they want to bring back or rehash from earlier, feel free to raise your hand. Alan, you got to have a couple more jokes.
All right. A skeleton walks in the bar and orders a beer and a mop. Think about it.
That's terrible.
E flat walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve minors."
Oh, God.
I got plenty of more, but I don't want to waste them all in one meeting.
Thank God our speaker is coming on.
Okay.
Could I ask Steve to repeat the information?